We're here with Paracove, and we're here with the legendary director. Okay, Robert, tell us about this film. How did it even come about? Like, you just started writing the script, or?
Actually, it came about because I was waiting to finish to get Hotel Refinement finished, and I just couldn't stand the idea of just hanging around. So I started writing this, and I realized that I was writing about my own childhood a lot, even though it's called NAK. I was doing that, and I realized that I had a lot to say about violence in childhood, and a lot of pain came up, and I didn't intend that. I had pretty much figured out what the story was, but I wanted to flesh it out. And now came these monsters, and I thought, well, this should be a horror movie.
When you come knocking on my door in the middle of the night, just to get my attention, you woke up the whole damn family.
You're fabricating everything. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Why the hell would I be fabricating this?
Probably guilt.
You know how I feel about you.
Look, John, you need to leave. This has gone far enough.
You can't be fucking serious right now.
This ends now. Get out of my face.
Fuck you.
Go!
Don't come running back.
I never would.
This isn't your first film.
No.
So, how is this different than your other films?
I think I'm learning. I'm learning how to write a decent script, and I'm learning how to put all the would-be stuff aside about what people are gonna think of it, or what, all that kind of stuff. Just write, and I think it's just sooner or later you learn how to do that.
If there was somebody that had $100,000 and they wanted to invest in your film, what would you tell them? Why should they invest in your film?
Give me the money, and get more. But no, it's invest in the film. It's like, don't worry about it. Get your basics down. Get your fundamentals. What do you want to say? It's your movie. Don't worry about what other people say. Don't worry about where the money. The money, if it's a good movie, if you feel it's good, you'll persevere, and the money will show up. Don't run after it. It's just money. People believe in you, and they believe in what you're doing. They're going to come and help you. Are going to be, it's wonderful, talented people. That's what makes a movie.
Do you feel like money can get in the way of a film sometime? Like these big budget productions?
It can, I guess. I would like to experience that and have things getting in my way like that. But what does anybody else? What do you think? I gotta throw that
Don't
one.
try to get out. We still on bar. I see you. Okay, we'll switch it up. Tell us about, like, we talk about Cassavetes and like these other filmmakers. Tell us some of the filmmakers that you really respect and look up to that maybe others should check out.
Filmmaker John Cassavetes, Scorsese. I don't know. I could name a lot. These were the geniuses. Yeah.
Well, for people like young people, they don't know Cassavetes. They don't know these directors. What caught you about Cassavetes?
No, that's not true. Okay, John. I never met John. I didn't know him, but I knew some of the people that he worked with, and Ben Gazzara, and Ben loved him, and he never lost his temper on the set. And John was like a saint. He was just a beautiful, beautiful person. Everybody loved him, and he did something for film that nobody else could do, really. He was in his own world. And he had tremendous courage. I didn't. Nothing stopped him.
Dr. John,
Hello.
how did you find out about this Annie K?
I heard about Annie K through Robert Clapsdale and his wife, Carol Woolman. And I've worked with them before, and it's a lot of fun being on the set. And I like, getting into the gigs. So, but yeah, that's where I heard
So,
about them.
When you read the script and you were looking at your character, what was one of the most striking scenes, and why did it appeal to you? And tell us about it.
One of the most striking scenes is actually something that we were just working on, and it's essentially an argument between two very confused people, Dr. John and Annie K. Annie K being the lead role in the film, and Dr. John, I guess, being the supporting role. And Dr. John is having a hard time keeping his shit together, and Annie K seems to have already lost her shit.
Right, Annie K.
Hello.
How did you find out about this film?
I found out through Carol and Bob. Yeah, we have a relationship outside of this, and so they asked if I wanted to be a part of it, and I was like, yeah, sure.
When you read the script, what did you think?
I thought it was really interesting. I was excited for the opportunity to kind of maybe like bust out of my shell a little bit, hold that sense of authority. I feel like Annie is somewhat trapped, but really enjoys having that power over people, especially like Dr. John and Larry. You know, she kind of is just like dangling them along. Sorry, like little playthings, but I think it helps her feel good about herself because of all the trauma that she's experienced as a kid. So I was excited to kind of play something that's outside of my usual temperament and something that I can somewhat relate to.
Carol, tell us a little bit about, this is not the first production like Bob that you worked on a film. What is it like being a producer?
A lot of work, a lot of detail, lots and lots of details to look after. Paperwork, calling people up on the phone, helps to have good assistants. We started our first film back in '89. We went to the Dakotas and we worked with the Lakota people as they were commemorating the massacre at Wounded Knee with a 150-mile ride through the dead of winter, very cold. Bob rode with them. He got on a horse, Stormin' Norman. But that was a fun shoot, and he wrote an incredible script, I think, for that one. He had different voices weaving through, telling the story.
The director finds very talented actors that are perfect for the part. The rest is a piece of cake.
Now, you say that, and I've heard you tell me before, you want the actors to become the characters. What do you mean by that?
Hey, that's the job. That's what they do. That's what's exciting about their art, is that they get to a place where they're not the individual actor anymore. They're the person that they're being. It's the beautiful part of it. It's like a dancer that memorizes all the steps.
What was the hardest thing in producing?
Well, probably getting the money. That's the hardest. But also just coordinating everything is really difficult. Getting the right crew. which we're very fortunate to have. We have a good team now, I would say, on this production. Got a very good production coordinator and a good set designer, art director, and it's small, but it's lean and very effective.
Let's talk about that. In Annie K, tell us about, this is a period film. Is that more challenging than the other films? That kind of thing.
Well, in some ways it is, because you got to have costumes and you got to get the flavor of the period. So like old cars going by, this kind of thing. He just suggested Bob could talk about that some more because he has the concept of that. But costumes are really important to set the tone. And other than that, the story kind of tells itself as it goes along. It's a very good script, I think.
Tell me, Dr. John, what is stressing you out about this thing with Annie? Like, what's going on?
Oh, well.
Why are you so stressed out there? We just saw you when I walked by.
I think, I think I'm mostly stressed about the fact that I am the doctor for every single person in the town. And it's a very public affair, which is supposed to be clandestine, like the opposite of public as an affair goes. And I'm really just stressed out because I have kids and a wife, and everybody's suspicious, and it's the 1950s. And I'm also clinging on to Annie K. I really want Annie K to solve my insecurities, and also, satiate lust. And the lust is, for really just taking care of the insecurities. It doesn't work, obviously, because he's going nuts.
Now, we see you going to the movie theater all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
I really enjoy movies. It's a way for me to escape my reality and get away from grading papers and staring at Dr. John and his family out the window and kind of, go back into my fantasy world. Everything in movies kind of always seems to work out in the end, and so it's a good escape for me.
Well, it's certainly a horror film, but I see it, from my point of view, as kind of a psychological drama. It's about how childhood hobgoblins come and throw you off as an adult. And Annie is half in a fantasy all the time. She's living through movies, never quite sure what's real and what isn't. And then you find out, well, yeah, she was traumatized as a kid. So it's a very good script. I think the way it develops kind of tells the story.
I think without a hello? Okay.
Yeah.
I think without a producer like Carol, you're in deep trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have that person that can pull it all together and make it work. And Carol's really a genius at that. And when she's not there, she's terribly missed. And she may be not talking very much about her composing of music, but she composed the music for Paradise Cove beautifully, and so she's got that talent. But as a producer, she's great. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we left that out. We forgot about that. Wait, one more thing. So, the composition, the music, that's serious. Tell us about that, Carol.
Well, actually, I'm not doing the music for this particular film. It's being done by an old friend of Bob's, who's Richard Goodman, who is writing songs of the 50s that really work. They're really, really 50s music. Rock and roll kind of stuff. But in the past, yeah, I did some of the music. For Wounded Knee, as I said, I selected it, but I wrote some songs for Paradise Cove. And they were performed beautifully by a singer named Laura Theodore. Jazzy kind of songs.
Multi-talented.